So tonight we're going to talk about being overwhelmed. So I am home. It's about 9 p.m. where I live. And today when I got home I was like, I am going to survive. I'm going to get through this. I will make it to the other side and land in my bed tonight. So I don't know why, but I'm currently working like 7 days a week, so that is not helping things. I'm going to be mitigating that problem or issue. It's not a problem, it's an issue. By the end of this month, that is fixing itself. So it's like I'm not going to be doing that anymore. Yay! Not that I haven't liked my job, but I'm like, it's just too much to do 7 days a week. I'm like, I cannot do that and maintain my house and some similitude of a life of some sort. Forget social life. I'm like, that isn't happening. But I'm like, at least, I would like to come home to a clean house one of these days. But I was watching a video today by a couple from, I think, the UK. I will try to drop a link in the description here of this video on my way into work. Because I had to get a taxi because the air is bad and I had a coupon and I'm like, I'm just going to get a taxi, forget the bike today and go into work that way. So I was listening on the way into work about this couple that is neurotypical and I'm like, this couple, I totally get what they're talking about because they were saying how when most people who are not neurotypical go into a room, they're like, oh, I'll just go clean the kitchen. It's a single task. I can manage this. Or I'll go clean the bathroom. Or I'll go clean the living room or bedroom. Whereas for those of us who are neurotypical, um, that that doesn't seem to work the same way. I'm like, are neurodivergent, not neurotypical. For those of us who are neurodivergent on the spectrum, it doesn't work that way. It's like today, I was on the way home from work, and even while I'm at work, I'm making a list in my head. I'm like, I need to go home. I need to take the microwave to the head person here downstairs to have them have it ready for the person to pick up tomorrow morning. I need to be home before 6 p.m. so that I know they're open. I have to go get the new microwave. I have to go get my packages that arrived in the mail today. I have to take the packages up. I have to recycle the boxes. I have to then undo the microwave and install it in the box in the cupboard that it fits in. I have to, make my meals for this week. It's like it was a long list of things. And then I get home and I get home from teaching like, let's see, about not quite 6 hours today because it was a slower day, but still about 6 hours of work plus an hour and some commute round trip. So I'm like about 7 hours in total. It's about 6 o'clock. I get my microwave. It's the first thing I do when I come home. I take it down to the department that takes care of that for the pickup tomorrow. I go get my new microwave and my packages in 2 loads. I get my new microwave installed after doing an unboxing video of how wonderful and fabulous this Toshiba Japanese microwave is. I'm like, it really is très elegant. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right in French, but I'm just saying it looks really nice. So it's installed. Then I'm like, I have to cut up greens and let them soak for about half an hour so that I know they're clean, even though I got them at the grocery store and they're supposed to be washed because bacteremia this January from vegetables and fruit at the market I always thought was okay, and now I'm totally freaked out because that almost killed me. I'm like, not gonna have that happen again. I'm like, who knew fruit could be so dangerous? So anyway, I'm washing my greens. I'm putting everything into my little cooker pot on the kitchen counter that is small because I have my cupboard fell off the wall this week. I'm like, it's been an interesting week. So I'm like, I don't have as much space on my countertop because it's like all my cupboard stuff is like strewn around my house because the cupboard literally fell off the wall because it was put up with chipboard. I don't know why we didn't use steel or wood anchors. I'm like, this seems really weird to me. But anyway, I'm like, I'm not an engineer, but I know that's a bad idea in a humid climate to put chipboard anchors. So moving on, I'm like, I'm cooking up my greens in 3 or 4 different batches with my ground chicken. I make my lunch boxes for 2 days. I make a Napa cabbage salad with apples and oranges and dressing, and I put all that in the bentos. I get myself some Lebanese bread and I make a little pizza thingy. I have half of that tonight at the end of everything because I'm like, I really can't leave this out any longer. It will not be good. So it's like I eat some of that, then I put it in the fridge. And then I go in and I mop up my kitchen floor. I realize that we probably should wear gloves when we use a bathroom cleaner on the kitchen floor. I'm like, I didn't realize it would turn my hand white that had a cut on. I'm like, that's not good. So it's not white anymore. It's like I soaked it in water with a lot of soap and it's okay now, but I will be using cleaning gloves from now on. Like you learn something new every day. I'm like, I'm in my mid 30s now. I'm like, I didn't realize we needed to wear gloves when we use the floor cleaner. I'm like, I thought it would be okay. But anyway, guess not. So I clean my floor, I clean my entryway floor, I take a shower, I do 2 loads of laundry, no, 3 loads of laundry, and then I come out here and I get some water and I throw away, I take the recyclables out to the recyclable box area, and I'm like, I take the trash out to the trash area. I'm going, you know, it's daunting, and I'm still like my living room is still not looking fabulous by any stretch of the word. My kitchen is okay-ish. I'm like, the dish drainer is like totally loaded right now because I have no cupboard, but I'm going, it's not terrible. It's just a little chaotic, but it's in some similitude of haphazard order. I'm like, the bedroom, I was hoping to go in and get the floor all tidied up at the base of the bed where I had some stuff from my closet. I'm like, that is not happening tonight. And I'm supposed to be taking a trip to like Malaysia here in the next week or so. And I'm going, I want in my house all clean. I want it all tidy before my trip to Malaysia so I know everything's in order before I leave on this international venture and return. But I'm like, that may not happen. And I I think the thing is to realize that there are achievable goals in our life, and there are things that we just cannot do because we are human and finite. And I'm like, I still got a lot done tonight. I mean, some people would just come home and maybe cook dinner or order in and maybe do 1 load of laundry, and I did get 3 loads done, and I got all the greens cooked up, and I got all this done. And I'm like, I did get a lot done today, but I'm looking forward to like having it be slower. I'm going, once I'm done here at the end of March, I'm like, I will be home for a while. I can just rest and organize things so that it's tidy. And I was supposed to move here in like a couple months. And I'm like, I might move. It would save some transfers and some transportation costs, and I totally get the feasibility of that. But I'm also sitting there going, I am tired. I have been working 7 days a week for about a year as an experiment to see if this would help with my finances and my career and all that. And it did help with my career in many ways, and it did help with my finances in some ways, kind of win some, lose some there. But still, I'm like, it did work in some ways, it didn't work in others. And I did, in the end, get a merit scholarship. So it's like I'm going to be able to finish my next degree with very little financial output. So that is a perk, and that would not have happened if I had not been here and working and whatnot. But I'm like, you know, it's been a bit chaotic, and I think there's times in our lives, especially as we get into our 30s, it's like we are still young, but we are also sitting there going, we are a little wiser than we were in our 20s and our teens, hopefully. Like, we can only aspire to such greatness to be a little bit wiser. I'm going, we can try things. We can figure out if this works or if this doesn't. And it's like, I have figured out that this does not work for me. It doesn't mean it was bad. It doesn't mean that it was problematic. It just means this did not work for me. This experiment that I did has led to chaos in my house. And it's like, even if I was at home studying, I'm not saying my house would be pristine by any stretch of the word. I'm like, my house has always been a bit, you know, kitschy. I have a lot of little things and I like to put them out. And it's like, I'm not always the tidiest person, especially when we get around finals. I'm like, nobody comes to my house around finals. That's the deal. It's like, hey. But anyway, I'm like, even with that being said, I'm going, I do need a little more peace and quiet in my home. And one of the ways to achieve that is not to work 7 days a week and not to have to do all these tasks at once. Because, like tonight, I'm going, doing the kitchen was not one task. That was, taking out the trash, managing the recyclables, doing the dishes, cooking up 3 different pots of greens and the chicken meat, and then making 2 bentos, and then making dinner, and then, cleaning up the countertop and mopping the floor. And I'm sure there are some other things thrown in there, but making a salad for 2 days. That's like 9 different tasks in one spot. I'm going, that's a bit of chaotic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, that is my short podcast or somewhat short podcast on tasks seeming daunting. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting here going, my house is still not in perfect order, but I have food in the fridge. My kitchen floor is cleaned up. My kitchen counter is wiped down. 3 loads of laundry are done. And I'm like, when I go to work tomorrow, I don't have to think about it. I just go and grab my lunchbox